Right, welcome back to another episode, guys. This is going to be all on our OGO composting toilet. You have got loads of questions. We've had loads of questions come our way, as you should, because we had a ton as well before we got our new toilet. We've had our compost toilet now for coming up 3 months. So we're going to give you a rundown. We're going to show you everything that we do and our experience too. So let's get into it. Alright, so this is our beautiful OGO toilet. So I actually think it is very aesthetically pleasing. So as you open up the lid, you've got two sections here. This is for your wee and this is for your poo. So when you do a number 2, you pull out this handle on the side and it opens up your little poo hole there. When you actually do wheeze in there, if any actually does fall into the back bit, it just slides into the front into your little wee canister here, so that's not a problem. We all use it. Freddie's been using it, so we've got a 3-year-old that uses it, so that's all good. All right, let's open up the lid and show you where the wee canister is and where the poo bucket is. So you just open the whole top here and we've got the poo in there and we've got the wee canister in here. That is where your poo bucket is, and then you open 2 hooks on either side and you pull out your wee canister. So this obviously just pulls out like this. You can go put it on a mature tree, or if you're too close to people you can use a dump point, or you can actually use a public toilet as well. Right, we're going to pull this to the side and we're going to remove the poo bucket. So that literally just comes out like this. When we do the poo bucket and the wee canister, I like to just give this a nice clean wipe down. It doesn't need much at all, but I just like to make it fresh every time that we do the poo and change out the compost.
It does have a little 12-volt fan in there, which obviously sucks all the smells out. There's not many smells anyway, but it does. And there's a little pipe that goes to an external vent outside the van. So that's good for any kind of smells. We haven't smelt anything yet, so that's a bonus. One thing we are finding with this is this here, this little white thing, that's your little sensor. So it has a light. When obviously your wee fills up, gets to a certain level, the sensor goes off. We're kind of finding, I'm thinking it's when we're driving more, that the light will be on, it'll be red, but there's pretty much nothing in there. So I don't know if that's just from driving and it's moving, and it thinks there's something sloshing around. But yeah, it has done it when we're not driving, so I don't know if that's a problem other people have. Your light goes off early, so you think your wee's full and it's not full. But other than that, yeah, it works brilliantly. It's a 12-volt little, what do you call it, agitator, I think it's called. There's a little button on the side here. You push that when you finish your number 2, and it obviously mixes everything into the compost. You are relying a lot on power. I've heard of people, obviously the 12-volt plays up, so you got to get a stick and turn your composting manually. We haven't had that drama yet, so we'll see how we go. But I can find a stick outside anywhere, so if it does go, that's the first thing I'll do. But so far it's worked brilliantly. All right,
so let's talk about all things toilet paper, what we use to clean as we go, how we store things and all that jazz. So toilet paper, we obviously use toilet paper, but we do not put it into the poo bucket. Reason being is that it can clog up where the paddles are inside of the poo bucket. I keep calling it poo bucket. What is it called? Poo canister? I don't know. I'm going to keep calling it poo bucket. So it can clog that up. It can also mean that you are changing the compost sooner than you have to. And also OGO recommends that you use a couple of squares each time. I don't know about you, but when I'm doing a number poo...
I said number poo.
Oh, did I really?
Not number 2.
When I'm doing a number 2, I'm using a few more than a couple of squares. So we have come up with a different solution. We actually use nappy bags. Now I've put them in this nice aesthetic little thing that I can put in the bathroom. I don't think that's much of an eyesore. So we just put them in a bag. Like so. We found this to be one of the cheapest options. I think I got 200 nappy bags for under $10, which I think is fantastic. And then what we do is pop them in this sealed, see, it's nice and sealed, little bin. I got this from Kmart. It's really cheap. It is supposed to be magnetic. We are yet to put it onto the wall, but for now it's fine. So we just pop it in there. It's sealed closed, there's no smell, there's absolutely nothing happening, so don't worry, there's no smell from the toilet, from the wee, or from the bin. And then every time we take the bin out to the trash, I will also empty that out. So one other thing that we do as well is we actually use white vinegar and water to spray down all of our wee. Really easy. We just got this cheap little one from Bunnings and it's really, really good. So yeah, white vinegar and water, really cheap solution. And again, like I said, there's absolutely no smells happening from the poo, from the wee, unlike what we are used to with our previous cassette. So we're very, very happy with what we're using and it's really working for us. All right, so let's talk about how we're getting rid of the compost. Okay, so we're normally getting about 2 weeks out of ours, which I think is fantastic. If you have a cassette with a big family, we were getting around 2, maybe 3 days out of our cassette. So changing it every 2 weeks has been a godsend. So we just grab one of our bin bags from the kitchen. All right, ready? Give it a love tap. All right. Well, that's pretty good. That came out quite clean. Then that goes into the bin. I'm going to wipe this out, make it nice and clean again. Let's get the new compost ready.
We use this stuff, which everyone uses. I think you get one of these that come with the actual OGO kit when you get your new toilet. All I do is I use about 3/4 of this. The rest I put into a Ziploc bag and use it next time. I usually use 3/4 of that, 500 to 600 ml of water, and I do it in a bucket. You can just do it straight into the toilet, but if you make too much, then you know you've got to tip it out of the toilet. Then I find it easier with this collapsible bucket to make it in there. So yeah, let's make it up and see how we go. I've done this pretty good lately. So Leah actually did the last one, didn't you? I'll give you that because it's windy. Oh God, making a meal of this. Oh, there we go. Usually just break it and try and get 3/4 out of it. I reckon about that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about that much. It's about 3/4. All I do is I break it up into. Whoop, goes everywhere. Break it up into the smallest bits I can in the bucket. A little bit more before I add the water. I know some people do this and they let it sit overnight. I've never had to do that. I just pretty much break it up, put the water in, break it up more, and then throw it inside the toilet. So that's probably enough. Now there's what? 300 ml of water there. As you put that in, let that sit. I'll go get some more. All right, so I got some more water. So pretty much just pour that in. Let it sit for a little bit. Let it go down. And then literally just back into it. Your hands get a little bit dirty, but don't worry about that. It's only dirt, I suppose. I don't even know what compost is, to be honest with you. But and then just break it up into as small a piece as you can. But this is how I've done it and it seems to work fine. So you just want to get rid of all the big clumps any minute. And usually I like to put it together. If it's not falling apart, like that's pretty good. I find that's fine. We did find, I don't know if it's because we've come somewhere else and the climate's a bit different. We found the one we just emptied was a bit more like gluggy at the end. So maybe there's more moisture or, yeah, I don't know what. But yeah, might be a little bit dry. Yeah, I might add a touch more water to that one. Yeah, another 100 ml. Just pour that in. Same thing, mix again. You don't want it too wet, obviously. If it's too wet, too like cluggy if that's the word, the agitator won't spin properly. But yeah, that's good. I find that's real good. See how there's a little bit fall off, but it's staying together. Yeah, I'm no professional at this. This is just us how we've been doing it every time, and we found it works well. I reckon that's ready to go. On the OGO book that we got, when you fill it back up, it says to fill it just up to the top of these little prongs in the bottom. So we'll do that now. A little bit more. So it says to just cover them. A little bit more. What do you reckon about there?
I think that's pretty good.
I reckon that's pretty good. There's a couple of clumps left over. And that's pretty good. Anything left over, I just put in the Ziploc bag with the rest of the brick that I didn't use, and we use it next time. And that's all we do to make our compost. So hopefully that helps you out. All right, so let's put it back together. I just follow the instructions in the book. These bolts at the front go to the front of the toilet. So pretty much just put it in, clips in, just put the wee one back in, just slide straight in there, pull your 2 little clips down and close your toilet. Done. So the little button on the side, and that's what happens after your little poo. Don't worry, there's no poo in there, everyone. That'll just compost. So there it goes. And that's pretty much it. That's all there is to it. They're pretty simple setup. With this one, you're relying on the 12 volt side of things. If it does go, then yeah, you don't have anything to really turn it. Like I said, you gotta use a stick. But so far, we're loving it. Like Leah said, 2 weeks. I think we got longer than that on one of them. And I've heard a family got 8 weeks out of theirs. That is absolutely insane. Just one thing for us guys, you do have to sit down to wee. Like this. Obviously I'm not going to show you. I've got clothes on. Yeah, so you got to sit down to wee. You could probably do it the other way, but it's probably going to splash everywhere just to be gross. So yeah, get used to sitting down to wee and you'll be fine.
How do you find it?
No, it's fine. You get used to it. It's all good. Then you just do it everywhere. You just sit down everywhere. All right, so quick tip. Don't drive with your wee canister too full. Probably just empty it. I'd just empty it anyway. It can slosh around and come back up through the toilet, and it's obviously can make a big mess.
So here, it can actually come up through that little hole there. So
it would take a pretty wild road, but why risk it? Empty your wee canister before you travel.
We have absolutely loved the OGO toilet. We've obviously had a cassette for 2.5 years. We've dealt with a lot of smells, a lot of leaks, all that sort of stuff. Our advice to anyone is to run and go and buy one.
Get a compost toilet.
Yeah, if you are wanting to stay off grid for longer like we do, then a composting toilet is incredible. To change the poo every 2 weeks, you know, pop the wee on a tree, all of that sort of stuff.
It's so easy as well.
It is a game changer.
Hello, buddy.
If you guys have any other questions that you want to know more about or more information, pop it in the comments down below. But I hope this helped you. We have now had the composting toilet for 3 months, showing you what we do, how it's worked for us. It works for us really well. And honestly, game changer. Go get one. Anyway.
Sorry for the poo talk. Let's get back to traveling next week.
See you next week, guys.